Alright, let's do a quick video on solving inequalities in one variable. A lot of you guys are getting ready to take your Cambridge exams, and you learned this at the beginning of last year, so this is almost 2 years ago. A lot of people forget. Alright, first thing first, you solve them as if they were equal to each other first. Okay? So you use inverse operations, distributing, all those kinds of tricks. The one thing that's a little different is that if you were to multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you have to turn the inequality around. I'm not going to get into why that is in this video, but you have to. Otherwise, you're going to have the opposite of the set of correct answers. So in this one's a little tricky because I have an x on each side, and this one is inside the parentheses. So before I can even start doing inverse operations, I have to get these parentheses gone. So I'd either have to distribute this 2 or divide both sides by 2. I'm not going to divide both sides by 2 because 2 doesn't go into 5, not evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So I'm going to get 4 minus 5x is less than 2x plus 8. Alright, now I have to make a decision. Which x am I going to move, this one or this one? It's usually easier if you move the one that's smaller, has a smaller coefficient. Negative 5 smaller than 2. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8 from both sides. Okay. What a lot of people don't know is, like, we're writing this in a column, but this, and this isn't a math step, but this is the same thing. Like this thing right here, it's the same as 4 minus 5x minus 8 plus 5x. And if you simplify this, you see these cancel each other, they make 0, and these two make negative 4. And like this thing right here, is the same thing as that. That's supposed to be an x. So these 8's make 0, these two make 7x. Alright, now the opposite of times 7 is to divide by 7. Negative 4 over 7 is less than x. That's the same as saying that x is, greater than negative 4/7. Alright, so you're just using inverse operations and you go to town. Alright, let's see here. The next one I got for you is 2 minus 3x divided by 5 is less than x plus 2. Alright, to solve this one, it's tricky because you have something in the denominator. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply both sides by 5. You do it to one side, you got to do it to the other. Make sure you distribute. Now on this side over here, these 5's reduce because this isn't the thing you would write, but 5 over 1 times. Would you agree that this is the same as 1/5 times 2 minus 3x? Would you agree that that's true? And the commutative property of multiplication says you can change the order in which you multiply. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. That equals 1. So you're left with 2 minus 3x. Okay, and then on the other side, 5x plus 10. Again, this isn't the step. I'm just trying to explain why it works. Because I have a feeling if you're having trouble with this, you're having some trouble with some basic algebra. So anyway, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 3x to both sides. We're also going to subtract 10 from both sides all at once, because it's easy. Negative 8 less than 8x. So divide both sides by 8. Negative 1 less than x, which is the same as x is bigger than negative 1. Alright. Now, if it were me grading the test, this is fine. I'm not 100% sure if that's okay for Cambridge or not. I should know, but I don't know off the top of my head. Okay, last one. What if you have something like this? 2 minus 5x divided by 7 is less than 2/5 plus 1. Okay, now this one's super tricky. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. First of all, we got some fractions. I would like to get rid of those fractions right off the bat by multiplying every single term, and there are 1, 2, 3 terms, multiplying them all by 35. Why by 35, you might ask? Well, because of this. 7 goes into 35 5 times, and when I distribute, I get 10 minus 25x. Let's see here, that goes in 7 times, is less than 14 plus 35. That's why. No more fractions. So I multiplied everything by the lowest common multiple of the denominators. So if you're taking notes, you might want to pause it so you could write down multiply everything by the lowest common multiple of the denominators. So, alright, anyway, here we can add those two together, right? And let's see, what does that equal? 49. So we got 10 minus 25x less than 49. Now, be careful right here. This 10 is positive, so I have to subtract it from both sides. Those make 0. Negative 25x is less than 39. Okay, now, I mentioned it at the beginning. If you multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative, you have to reverse the direction of the inequality. Now, the way I do it, this is a perfectly acceptable answer. And it's okay on a Cambridge exam also. They usually put OE on the mark scheme, which means or equivalent. But a lot of times on a Cambridge exam, they'll end up doing the fraction or the decimal approximation. So x would be less than negative 1.56. So anyway, I hope that helped. You, again, in review, all you do is you treat this symbol as if it was an equal sign, and you use inverse operations. So you use SADMAP. And the one hiccup is that if you divide both sides by a negative, then you have to change the direction of the inequality. Other than that, all the rules you know of algebra hold true. I hope this helps. Thank you.